In January 2026, Iran is on fire again. Mass protests, a brutal crackdown, and a new wave of pressure from the United States under President Donald Trump. Trump is publicly telling Iranians to keep protesting and saying help is on the way. Meanwhile, Washington is escalating economic pressure not only on Iran but on countries that do business with Iran. So, what's actually happening? Is this heading towards a new war, regime change, or a deal? And why is Iran once again at the center of global politics? Oil, nukes, Israel, and the entire Middle East. Today, I'll break it down in a detailed timeline so that you can understand. Iran isn't just another country, it sits next to the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important oil choke points in the world. It also supports allied groups across the region, which the US and some allies describe as destabilizing. And the biggest issue? Iran's nuclear program. How close Iran can get to a nuclear weapon capability has been the core tension for years. So, whenever US Iran tensions rise, it affects oil prices and global markets, regional security, such as Gulf states, Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon, and the risk of wider conflict. In early 2025, the Trump administration formally returned to the maximum pressure strategy, meaning tighter sanctions, stronger enforcement, and blocking Iran's path to nuclear weapons. This approach is basically we will squeeze Iran economically until it either changes its behavior or comes to a new deal on US terms. Supporters say sanctions reduce Iran's ability to fund its programs. Critics say sanctions crush ordinary people and can actually fuel instability. And that matters, because a weak economy is one of the biggest reasons protests explode. In April 2025, the US and Iran started indirect nuclear talks, reportedly mediated by Oman. It wasn't face to face, it was more like messages passed back and forth. But then momentum weakened. Why? Because regional events intensified, and once shooting starts, diplomacy becomes much harder. In June 2025, a major Israel-Iran conflict erupted, involving strikes on nuclear and military-related sites and retaliatory attacks. Analysts describe it as a turning point that reshaped the region's risk level. After such escalations, two things usually happen at the same time. Hawks push for stronger action, diplomats push for de-escalation. But the middle space, trust, disappears. By late 2025, Europe moved to reimpose sanctions frameworks linked to the old nuclear deal era, often discussed as snapback-style pressure returning in practice, because the broader international environment hardened again. In normal language, Iran's economic breathing space kept shrinking, and that pressure piles onto the public. Jobs, prices, currency value, medicine access, and daily life. Now we come to January 2026. Iran has seen large-scale protests triggered by economic hardship, and the unrest evolved into broader anti-government demonstrations. But the most important thing, the crackdown has been extremely violent, and death toll estimates varies. Reuters reported at least 2,571 deaths as of January 14, 2026, while Iran's government has given different framing and blame. Also, people are reportedly fleeing. Reuters described Iranians crossing into Turkey as the crackdown continues. And during crackdowns like this, Iran often restricts internet access because controlling communication is controlling coordination and evidence. Trump's current posture has three layers. Layer 1, public encouragement of protesters. Trump has publicly urged Iranians to keep protesting and signal support, which raised speculation about stronger US action. Layer 2, economic escalation, tariffs aimed at Iran and Iran's partners. A major new move reported by AP, Trump announced a 25% tariff on imports from countries trading with Iran, a form of pressure not just on Tehran, but on any country that keeps Iran economically alive. This is controversial because it can also raise prices and create friction with major trade partners. Layer 3, pressure over the internet blackout. US lawmakers have called for steps to help restore internet access in Iran, because if protesters are cut off, they are isolated. At the same time, Reuters reported Iran warning of retaliation if the US strikes, and the US taking precautions in the region. So it's not only about statements, it's pressure, plus signals, plus regional military caution. Iran's leadership is trying to project control, calling unrest manageable and blaming foreign involvement. It has also warned neighbors hosting US forces about consequences if Washington intervenes. Classic deterrence messaging. If you hit us, the region gets dragged in. This is why the risk of escalation is real. One strike can create a chain reaction. When you strip away slogans, this conflict revolves around three goals. Number one is nuclear leverage. The US wants Iran blocked from nuclear weapons pathways. Iran wants sanctions relief and recognition of its security interests. Number two, regional power balance. Israel and Gulf allies worry about Iran's influence. Iran sees itself as resisting a hostile regional order. And number three, internal Iranian stability. Protests make the regime feel threatened. The US sees an opening to pressure. Iran sees foreign destabilization. And here's the dangerous part: domestic unrest plus external pressure is the exact combination that can produce unpredictable decisions. So, what could happen next? There can be three possible scenarios. Scenario 1, maximum pressure gets harsher. This is more likely short term. More sanctions enforcement, more tariffs, more isolation, while Iran cracks down harder internally. Scenario number 2, limited military escalation. This is high risk but uncertain. Even a limited strike or an incident in the Gulf could spiral fast because both sides will feel they must respond. And scenario 3, a negotiated channel reopens. This is possible but difficult. If back channels reopen, you might see indirect talks again, but it requires both sides to believe a deal is better than escalation. So, what's happening between Trump's USA and Iran in 2026 is not one single event, it's a chain. Maximum pressure leads to nuclear tension, which leads to regional conflict, which leads to deeper sanctions, which leads to economic collapse, which leads to protests, which leads to crackdown, and which leads to US escalation signals. And now the world is watching one question: does this end in a deal, a crackdown, or a wider war?